I think I would have been the last person you would have expected to make a public account and start making these videos. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very, very special video. Today marks 4 years of Bookish Basma. So 4 years since I took this leap and made a public Instagram account to just talk about books. Super surreal. I don't even know how to say this. Time has flown by so fast, and I have never really taken what I have for granted, the platform I had, the opportunities I've had, and it's always just come back to a cycle of alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah for these opportunities that I've been given. And it's just wow, 4 years. That's a lot of time, and it doesn't feel like I've been doing this for 4 years, but in the same way it does. So lots of emotions, clearly. And basically what today's video is kind of some reflection on the past 4 years. A friend of mine, Sausan, suggested I do a top 10 bookish moments over the past 4 years. And I also think I want to react to some of my own content, so it might be a longer video than usual. We'll see how long this comes out to be. Hopefully not a too emotional video. This is a happy celebration, but also I'm a very, very nostalgic and emotional person, so we might get emotional. We'll see. Let's get into it. So I want to start by talking about where Bookish Basma originated and stuff. And just to clarify, when I say Bookish Basma, I'm Basma. Obviously, I'm talking about the start of my Instagram account. My Instagram account is turning 4 years old. I eventually within these 4 years joined the other platforms. I joined BookTok, I joined BookTube, but Instagram, and I say this on my bios of my other platforms, Instagram will always be my main platform. It's where I got my start. It's where I'm the most active. And the reason for that is because not only did I get my start there and stuff, is the content I put on Instagram is more of the actual content I like putting out. It's a good balance of both photos and videos, and I like doing both. I've never been one who just liked only doing videos or only doing photos, and I think that's why I'm able to be so versatile with my content across platforms, because I enjoy making both. Why am I nervous? I have my profile pulled up on my screen over here, and wow, this is crazy. It's too early to get emotional. Let's talk about how Bookish Basma started. So if I take you guys to 4 years ago, 2020, midst of quarantine. Quarantine were different for everyone. For me, it was really I didn't leave my house, as we weren't supposed to, for a solid, however long we were in quarantine for, a while. I was someone I did not have to work in person. My job was not an essential job. I was working from home. I was taking college classes from home. That's another thing. I was still in college when I started this. And so it's a little crazy to think about sometimes, is throughout the span of 4 years on Bookish Basma, you have witnessed me in college, struggling, graduated college, get a job, experience grief, experience travel, experience hardship and joy. It's crazy that you guys have been there for every step of the way. There goes those emotions. Getting off track here. Let's go back to, it was maybe mid 2020 quarantine. I, like so many people who weren't leaving their houses, was spending a lot of my time online. I did not have TikTok at the time. I only had Instagram. I think I had a Twitter. And by the way, my entire life, I've only ever had private social media accounts. Never had I had a public social media account, which is why I think, sometimes I think from the perspective of, people who knew me before I became, a public account. I think I would have been the last person you would have expected to make a public account and start making these videos, because my entire life I've only had private social media accounts. My entire life I even would hesitate to make a Facebook profile picture, because my mother had ingrained into us internet safety from such a young age. So me making this leap one day, I think felt very out of character for a lot of people who knew me. But as much as out of character as it felt, it also felt so right. And subhanAllah, really I just knew that this was what I was meant to do, and not in a for life thing. It felt right for me. I've never once doubted my decision to make an online account and come online. And I'm losing the plot because we're supposed to be telling the story of how I started. Okay. Oh, 2020 is also when I got back into reading. And how I got back into reading was I had a Goodreads account since 2013. I made it in like middle school. And in middle school, I was always like, I would love to have like a blog to talk about books, because my teacher, Miss Moy, who I've mentioned before on my page, she really got me into like reading and a bunch of things. She was like a mentor for a good chunk through middle school and then through high school, and I still talk to her. Miss Moy ran a blog, and I always thought that was really cool, and I was like, well, I would love to do that one day. And then at 13 and 20, because I was 13, I was like, no, I would never put myself online like that. Who would have thought I'd be here? 13-year-old Betsy probably didn't think so. But I had a Goodreads account since then, and so I stopped reading in high school because I was taking AP classes, college applications. I was busy. I was not reading unless it was like the required reading for English class. So in quarantine, I got back into reading, and I was reading just purely off of Goodreads. Like, that's where my recommendations were coming from, was Goodreads. So in the beginning, I read a lot of like the super popular books that I would not recommend like these days. But it's also when I found some of my favorite books. Like, before I joined the online bookish community, I had already read and discovered some of my favorite reads. I had read Love from A to Z, I had read We Hunt the Flame, I had read An Ember in the Ashes, I had read Legend Born. These were books I found through Goodreads or somehow online, or if I stumbled across Bookstagram posts. And so when I came into Bookstagram, I had come in already knowing some of my favorite reads, and I think that was really special to me. And so what happened was, I was getting back into reading. I was starting to look up like posts, because I was looking for memes and for fan art of my favorite books on my personal Instagram account. So eventually my explore page on Instagram kind of turned into Bookstagram. A lot of my suggested posts were Bookstagram. There's some creators I saw on my personal explore page that I'm actually friends with now, which is crazy, and I'll tell you them. So specifically Loose Leaf Ellie. Ellie and I have been friends now for a couple years. I would see her reels all the time on my page. I'm like, wow, this is so fun. I eventually started to see creators that looked like me. And that was one of these big questions I had when I first started seeing Bookstagram content. I was like, hey, this is so cool. Like, maybe I want to do this. The question I had was, is there space for someone who looks like me on this platform? On one hand, I'm like, I hate that I even have to think that. And on the other hand, when you grow up as sometimes the only Muslim, visibly Muslim, so the only hijabi or the only Arab person in a lot of your spaces, and I'm not saying that as in I was the tokenized Muslim or Arab, and I never wanted to be, but it's something you kind of have to be aware of. And there's always like that little question in the back of your mind, like, is there space for me in here? And so what changed that is these two Muslim creators that I eventually became friends with, which is crazy to me because at first I was a fan, at Stars Bright and Azanta Reads, which is crazy because now Azanta and I run a book club together. I saw their I actually stalked both of their pages for a bit, and I was like, okay, like, these people look like me and they're doing it. Like, maybe I can do it too. It was very impulsive. I took a old photography account I had that I made randomly, like a public photography account when I was in high school, when I got into a little bit of photography because I was doing yearbook and stuff. Never like took off. I only had maybe like 100 followers, and that were like my family and friends and classmates. So I took it and I wiped it clean, like deleted everything, changed the username to bookishbasma. I was so happy. I found that like such an easy username that goes with my name. The alliteration is there, and I just started. It was very impulsive. October 15th, 2020, I just did it. I remember did I text? I think I texted like two of my friends, and I was like, hey, like, I think I'm gonna do this. And before they had a chance to answer, I was like, okay, I just did it. Which is how I get sometimes. I'm not a super impulsive person, but sometimes I get like that. And I just make those impulsive decisions. And like, alhamdulillah, it worked out. And I remember my mom wasn't even home when I did it. And so when she came home, I was like, hey, like, I like went out to greet her. And I was like, hey, like, this is happening. This is what I'm doing. She was like, okay, like, hope your dreams come true. And when I tell that story, it always sounds so inspiring, but you have to understand, like, that's just how my mom talks. She was just like, okay, like, I hope your dreams come true. And I like, it was like very casual. It wasn't like an emotional moment, but that's how my mom is. And I was okay, like, I'm gonna do this. And inshallah, my dreams are gonna come true. And here we are. The rest is really just like history. There are still so many vivid memories of that first year, of like the first time I hit this many likes, the first time a reel took off, the first time I put myself out there filming myself for a reel was very nerve-wracking. And then the first time I lost access to my account, I still remember that day. And it's just like so many memories are built into this one account. And sometimes like it feels surreal. like I said that at the beginning, this feels surreal because, like I said earlier, like, I don't think out of the people who knew me in real life, they would have ever predicted I would have been the person who did this. And sometimes, like, I don't even think I would, and that's, like, my imposter syndrome talking. But genuinely, like, and I've said this before on my platform, my accounts are where I feel like people get the most honest version of myself, because I still have my private social medias. And some people try to find it sometimes, and that's weird. Don't do that. But I still have my private social medias, like for my close friends and family. And I am more honest and transparent and more myself on my public accounts than I am on my personal accounts. And it's just, I don't even know, like, why that is. But truly, like, I try to be as transparent and honest as possible, which is something I feel like you always have to take things you see on social media with a grain of salt. And I always told myself, like, I would be the most honest version of myself. Like, I'm not gonna lie on social media. Like, there's enough of that. And truly, like, alhamdulillah, like, while social media has its drawbacks, and I've had to find balances and work-life balance and being able to take breaks, I have truly only seen good things come out of it. I've met some of my closest friends from my platforms, from Instagram, from TikTok. I've had incredible opportunities to interview some of my favorite authors. Genuinely, like, I am, alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful every day. And it's like, for me, when I started my account, it wasn't about the numbers for me, I'll say that. And like, and I'm not gonna lie and say I don't care about the numbers, because that's not true. I put a lot of effort into my content that I make. It's a lot of work. I care about the numbers, but I always told myself it wouldn't be the most important thing to me, and it really isn't. And the deal I made with myself, and I think I had communicated this to a friend as well, like a personal and real life friend, that at no point was my social media is going to compromise who I actually was. And that was something very important to me, that I started this account for the purpose of talking about my passions, and talking about my passions honestly. I never wanted to reach the point where that intention had changed to where I was making posts for another reason, or that I was, I'm not gonna say lying, like I was fibbing or stretching the truth for an ulterior motive. My intentions, and if you're Muslim, you know how important intentions are in Islam. It was so important to me that my intentions stayed the same throughout. However long I did this, however big my account got, even if it stayed the same size, my intentions stayed the same. And alhamdulillah, I think I can say that they have. As much as I've changed and grown over the 4 years, I still come on this platform every day, or any of my platforms, with the intention of, I read this book, here's what I thought about it. I'm not presenting a full side of myself. So yeah, alhamdulillah, like, reflecting on the last 4 years, I look back on everything fondly. I'm very, very grateful for every second I've had on these platforms, for every second I'll continue to have, for every friend I've made, for every opportunity I've had. And I feel like I've said that before, and I'll say it again. I'm gonna say it until one day I eventually decide, actually, I don't think I'll ever call Bookish Basma quits. I'm bumming forever. You can't get rid of me. I'm never leaving. No, but sincerely, like, before we jump, I want to start reacting to some old content, because I'm just yapping over here. Without getting emotional, I'm sincerely so grateful, and I'm grateful for every single person who watches my content, who supports it, who presses the like button, who leaves a nice comment, who sends me the most sincere and tear-jerking messages. I read all of them. Sometimes I don't answer because I'm like, I'm just gonna cry harder if I answer, or because there's so many that it's a lot. But I do read everything on my pages. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for making Bookish Basma possible. We are now going to jump into reacting some of my old content. So we're gonna scroll back to 4 years ago, and we're gonna look at how some of my content used to look. All right, friends, I brought you guys over here a little bit. We're going to jump into reacting to some old content. I am nervous, but also excited. I kind of want to give a disclaimer as I pull up my old content here. And I'm gonna say this, like, and this is something that applies only to me. I am not somebody who believes in long-term regret. And that's not something I say lightly. And I realize it kind of just sounds, okay, this is like the optimisms of a young person. I believe in short-term regret. I believe I can make a mistake and go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. And that's, like, I let myself feel my feelings after a mistake. But long-term regret doesn't work for me. Regret doesn't serve me. And the reason I say that is we're about to react to some of my old content, and I know it's like, a lot of people, when reacting to the younger selves, like almost do so with some disdain, with that this is cringe. And I don't believe in treating my younger self like that. And when I say that, I'm not providing shade. I understand like everyone has different relations with themselves, but we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at some of my old content. And is this content like I would post now? Probably not. Do I look a lot different than I do back then? Yeah. Am I going to go ugh or ew or this was cringe? No. And I say that just to like set this standard from the way I treat my younger self, because how can I regret my younger self when she got me here? You know what I mean? The only thing I have for younger Basma, who took these huge leaps, these scary steps to put herself out there, is a lot of gratefulness, because yes, some of the content is maybe not up to par with what I would post now and things like that, but she did all that, and that's how I got here. So the only thing I have in my heart is gratefulness. I don't ever regret how I used to be. And I'm just like, I feel like that is just something I kind of wanted to put out there, because obviously it's a lot different. And I only look back at these days with fondness. And not that I think anyone is going to say anything. That's just like a standard one set. Because there's like that trend going around. People are like, oh, like sign your old pictures. And most people like turn away. And it's like all for jokes and stuff. And like props to them. Everyone has their own relationship. But like that, it always brings me a little bit of sadness when I watch those videos. Because I'm like, that's still you. That's just you younger. You know what I mean? Like they still deserve the kindness and grace. And so younger Basma did a lot of work to get me here. And I'm so grateful for that. Oh, emotional. I'm gonna cry right now. Okay, let me start recording my screen before I get even more emotional. And if anyone is ever wondering how I record my screen to put on this, PowerPoint gives you the ability to screen record. So that's what I do. So I just like have PowerPoint pulled up here. It's let me fix my selection of my area again. It gives you the ability to screen record, so that's what I'm doing. So the way Instagram is set up, reels and photos are different. I never kept most of my reels on my page, so let's react to a few photos and then we'll go to some reels. All right, so this was my first ever post. Someone had gifted me this book, and I had a bit of a Marvel phase in high school, truly. So that's why I had like a good amount of merch, and I was like, this was my first book. Wow, crazy. October 15th, 2020. This time I remember I was really excited. I was getting a lot of like, welcome to Bookstrom comments. And I was like, oh, I feel so special. I feel so loved. So remember what I said earlier, that I started my account already having known some of my favorite books. So even just looking at my first like grid, my third post ever was An Ember in the Ashes. Then I talked about We Hunt the Flame. Books like Legend Born, and so on. This post was very special to me. So this was pre my bookshelves. You can see in the back, this was back when I shared a room with my sister. I no longer share a room with my sister. She lives in the room right next to me now. And so I had, basically my bookshelves was, I had this one big, very clunky, overfilled bookshelf. And then I had these white cubes that I turned into some shelves for like the aesthetic content. I was able to set up a setup outside of this, and this is my cat Apollo. If you guys have been following me since the beginning, when I started my account, I had my cat Apollo, he was still less than a year here. He passed away in 2022, at the age of 2. And this is what I mean when like I was very honest on my social media and you saw all sides of me. I experienced my grief online as well. The reason I would never delete any of my old posts is like, these are my memories, right? Apollo, the trials of Apollo. Yes, I look back at these days with a lot of fondness. You can tell from some of these setups that I was kind of just going with what I had in the house for photos. And I was actually, anytime I want to take a photo, I'd literally just walk around the house and I'd like pick out my mom's decor to use in my photos. And I just really had to be really creative with it. Anytime we had fresh flowers in the house, I was using library books. That's another thing people think, to run a bookstream, you need a ton of books. These are library books I was taking photos of, and I learned eventually to edit covers on. So this is like a cover edited onto a tablet. And so honestly, sometimes I miss this. Like I got to be super creative with whatever I had on hand. This is actually this photo I was so proud of. I had bought like these like torn up pages. Oh, this was my very first giveaway? What? Crazy. For 500 followers. That's crazy. Another Apollo picture with my warrior books. Yeah, literally, like, I was using jewelry, and then, fun fact, this background is a pillowcase. I literally was just using whatever I had on hand to be as creative as possible. This was actually, I think, the first book I ever won in a giveaway, too. Crazy stuff. Wow, like I said, I just look back at this with, like, fun. This was an edited cover, and I remember being so proud of how this edited cover came out, because I had the library copy of this book, but I wanted the edited cover on it. Wow, the effects went crazy. I was having so much fun with Pixar and this, like, dot effect. Oh, first profile pic? Wait, come back. No, I had another profile pic before this, but I didn't like it. This was my first official Meet to Books grammar. This picture was my profile picture for so long. It took me so long to change this picture. It was my profile picture on Goodreads for even longer. This was the day I bought the We Hunt the Flame book too. You can see I had just taken off the sticker here. Whoa. So let's read my Meet the Books grammar post from 2020. 800 followers. 20 years old. I am now 24. I still live in Orlando, Florida. My name is still Basma. I'm studying mechanical engineering at UCF, graduate another year or so. I have now been graduated for 3 years. I graduated in December 2021. I work full time now as a mechanical engineer. My favorite genres are sci-fi and fantasy for YA or middle grade. That is still correct. Although I very rarely read sci-fi, so it's mostly just fantasy. I also really like contemporary and romance now. Own over 200 books, don't have enough shelf space for them. That is still correct. I probably own a little bit more than 200 now. Huge coffee drinker. Yes, I'm still averaging 2 to 3 coffee cups a day, which is crazy, by the way. Don't recommend, but I never got out of that habit from college. Massive Marvel fan. I am no longer a Marvel fan. Marvel for me has dropped off. That's a whole other video we could do. But yeah, I'm not as big as a Marvel fan anymore. 8-month-old kitten named Apollo. He was 8 months. Ugh, LV. Well, like I said, Apollo's no longer with us. I have 2 other cats now who are 2 years old, and I'm not gonna cry. Wow, it's so much has changed. Wow. We're not gonna cry. Yeah, so this was like the old. You guys want to hear a funny story? Okay, there's a story behind this photo. I'm not laughing for no reason. So first of all, this photo, I could barely open my eyes because of how sunny it was. But there's a story behind this photo. Let me tell it to you. This is Thanksgiving 2020. Thanksgiving 2020. We were on vacation at Clearwater, which is where I took this photo. And I was like, I have this fall dress, it matches chain of gold, I'm gonna take a book picture. And I hit 1,000 followers. I'm like, super exciting. Okay, I post this photo less than like a couple hours later, literally the same day I post this photo, I lose access to my account. My account disappears. I don't even know what happened. I'm genuinely it ruined my vacation. I was on vacation at Clearwater and I was like so excited, just hit 1,000 followers, just posted this photo I was super proud of, lost access to my account. I still to this day don't know what happened. And I spent the rest of the day on Instagram support, Facebook support. I'm like, I need my account back. Like, what are you doing to me? And it's like, I forgot how I fixed it. I was like, there was a bookstagrammer I'm blanking on her name. I thanked her, in another post or something. And she was like, this has happened to me before. I reached out for my personal account because I'm freaking out. I don't have access to my book account anymore. And I eventually had to submit this mugshot to Instagram support with a photo of my driver's ID and holding up whatever code they sent me. It was literally like a mugshot to prove it was me to get access to my account back. It was crazy. It was genuinely the most stressful time of my life back then. That's why I'm laughing so hard, because I genuinely panicked. I crashed out. I was like, what do you mean you're taking my account away? Just so funny in hindsight. Alhamdulillah, I got my account back. It was crazy. And then with this post, I remember being so disappointed because it wasn't getting as much engagement as before, because it was literally up for 2 hours and then gone because my account disappeared. And then anyway, super stressful. After this, I took 3 or 4 measures to make my account more secure. I connected it to a Facebook account. I did a bunch of things to make it more secure, and it's still, alhamdulillah, has not happened since in the 4 years I've had my accounts. But it was traumatizing. That's so funny. This photo is another one I'm really, really proud of. I had to enlist help. Was it my brother who helped me take this photo? Because like obviously both my hands were in the pic, took it from above. I thought it was really like aesthetic. Back at this time, I was still really weird about putting myself and like my body online, you know what I mean, especially like weird angles and stuff. But alhamdulillah, it came out really cute. Fun fact, I still use this coffee cup. I've had that coffee cup for like 5 years now. It was gifted to me by my best friend. It says "You're my person," which is a Grey's Anatomy reference. She's still my best friend, so it still works. But I've had that cup forever. More fun facts. And then we're getting into here now is when I started trying out some themes. So I put together this almost like, I'm gonna say winter because I don't celebrate Christmas, but like it has like some elements of like what you associate with Christmas, like the reds and the greens. And these, I had bought these at the dollar store from the Christmas seasonal section. And so this was like the very first like theme I tried out. I didn't stick to it super well. You could see I went and still did my usual like creative ones of sky. Wow, the trauma. So it was this was like my first time trying out a theme. And then you can see this shift. This is a New Year's post. I still remember this. I posted December 31st. I posted this in an airport actually. I was coming home from a trip. I was in Jersey. I usually go visit my family in Jersey in the winter on winter breaks. So I posted on the airport on the way home, and then I started my new theme, which this one lasted a while, and you can still see parts of this theme in my current theme. I still use the same wooden board, still use some of the same flowers and like little trinkets here and there. And that's when I went to my other theme. Well, I remember this theme so much. I need to go to start reacting to reels, but first let's react to this photo. This photo I was so proud of. I still somewhat am proud of. I remember, I don't have regrets. I'm never gonna be like, oh, that was so cringe. Would I post this today? No, but it's fine because this was such a hard edit for me to make. I played around so much with it. I basically had seen a lot of people do these like fantasy edits, which were very in theme with 2021, the year we were in. And I was like, I want to try this. So I took these photos in my room. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to my family in general. Anytime you see these photos of like, it's not something I took, obviously, because I'm in the photo fully. It's my family members. Like literally later today, my brother's gonna help me take my 4-year anniversary photos in this outfit. So shout out to my family. Like they're always so supportive. I posted this on my birthday, 2021, when I turned 21. And I had wanted to do a fantasy edit like I've seen. Genuinely, this took me so long. It probably would still take the same amount of time now, because what you don't realize, I think what a lot of people don't realize, I don't think it'll let me zoom in. When you do a cutout, at least the way I do it, maybe there's an easier way. There is probably easier ways to do it now with like AI and stuff, but I stay away from using that stuff. Like background movers and stuff. Anything that uses AI, I stay away from. I like had to trace myself. I did it in PixArt. And so I like, they'll like automatically cut out some of it, but you have to go back in and like make it more fine-tuned so it's not blotchy, you're not missing a finger or something. So I did that myself, and it took forever. And then these were really fun to do, and then the rest of these elements also came from PixArt. It was fun. This was fun. I had to reach out to a lot of friends for feedback. Oh, another Apollo picture. Oh, my lovely. Does he turn 1? My baby. Okay, I want to react to some reels, and then we get into like a second theme. Or I guess we can just keep going and then we'll go to reels. So this picture was really funny. I wanted to show off this mask, but it fit weird, and I remember this picture was just a little strange to take, and I tried to like make it more like in theme with the flowers. Honestly, like looking back, I should have probably changed the opacity of the flowers a bit. I did really like this theme. I kind of lost control of this theme after a while with the amount of flowers in it. This is also when I started experimenting with using these like, so these coffee drinks. The coffee top is a sticker from PixArt. Like I did not actually go make a latte. So I had a lot of fun with those. These pictures I really like. This was to celebrate Misfit and Love's release from SK Ali. This is actually my mom's dress that I used for the occasion. I had a lot of fun with that picture actually. This was my first Meet Me in Memes 2021. This was back, like I said, I used to share a room with my sister, so I didn't have the bookshelf background. So I used to have an art wall. It's the same room, by the way. So I used to have an art wall back here, which I still have some prints up there, but it's not like character art print anymore because I have space for that on this side of the room. Wait, let's look at the memes. I'm getting ahead of myself. Freddie Carter. I went through such a bad shadow and bone meme phase. Iced coffee. I still agree with this one. Iced coffee is the most fun meal of the day. These were so funny to me back then. They still kind of were. I'm never gonna recover from this. I still actually remember using these. And that's my cat, correct? Oh, these are so funny. Oh my gosh. It was so cute. Okay, this is monumental. This is my first read along. So this started, I have my friend Elizabeth. Back then I had the username Book Dragon Liz. It's now Swords and Sweets. We started this in 2021. We've done it every summer since. We host a read along together. We on the Flame was our first one. Fun fact, she met her current fiance that she's marrying later this year in this read along, which is crazy. So I was really proud of these pictures. We read We Hunt the Flame, and We Free the Stars that summer. Was it in the summer? When did I start this? June. Yeah, it was over the summer. We read both books. So much fun. Like, I honestly, like, I've done a lot of read-alongs since then, but that one I still remember so fondly because it was so fun. People were so engaged. I remember I was like in the minority that I didn't think the lion was hot or something. It was genuinely like such a good time. I really like this picture too. I don't think I actually own this abaya anymore. Wow, these were so fun. Fun fact, when we were doing this, Elizabeth still lived in the Philippines. So we were like trying to balance our time zones to be able to call at a decent time for both of us. I almost hurt myself with holding the stack of books. Fun fact, this was for the book talk event stack. Wow. I am still so proud of this photo, by the way. This photo, I still think of it often because I still have this dress and it matches so well with this book. This was actually also one of the first paid ads I ever did. Penguin Teen, love Penguin Teen, had reached out to me to do a couple photos for The Beautiful because they were doing a read along for this series. And I had done 4 posts for them. I think at $100 each, which, by the way, like, full transparency is not what I would charge now. Because obviously it's a bigger account. But back then I was like, this is so exciting. And it was very exciting for my first paid ad. This is when we transitioned into, this is now what, my 3rd or 4th theme, where I did a mix of this theme with a lot of flowers and my first just original woodsy theme. So I basically took the woodsy background, instead of just doing like whites and golds, I added some more of these colorful flowers. Also, very, very proud of this picture. There is an outtake from this shoot. I was like, what if I added fake flames? Because, like, there's flames. It did not look very good. It was very badly photoshopped, and that lives in my camera roll. But this was a really cool picture I was very proud of. And you could tell by now, I have shelves. Crazy. I think that's my first picture with my shelves. Yes, because this picture, I still didn't have the shelves. You're like, Basma, how did you suddenly get shelves? This year is the year my brother got married and moved out. So when he moved out, we had an extra room for my sister to move into her own room and for me to get my own room, for me to get my own shelves. Wow. Then I started repping for fake crates. I love fake crates so much. I repped for them for a long time. I don't remember how long I repped for fake crate for. I only stopped last year. I enjoyed every second repping for them. I always recommend them as a company to work with or to buy from. Their products are great. Their owners are wonderful. I had stopped because it was like a timing thing. Was going to go back to school to get my master's. I ended up not doing that. And I'm getting my engineering license instead. Like, that's a side note. I just got too busy, basically. But I always look back at that fondly. Apollo. Love of my life. This is when I repped for Blissfully Bookish. 10K followers? That's crazy. I still remember the day I got this, the day I hit 10K. I still remember that vividly. I think I was at school. Yes, I was at school, and I think I recorded it too. I posted on my TikTok. I was at school at UCF, like in college, and I think my best friend was visiting me on campus that day too. And I like freaked out. It was so exciting. I like was too excited to go to lecture. Like we went to lecture and I was just like, I'm too excited to be focusing on engineering right now. I had 10K followers. I remember that day vividly. I was so excited. Wow. Crazy stuff. Oh my gosh. Crazy. And then this is 1 year. That's crazy. How many times we're gonna say crazy in this video? Well, Wow. She was a baby. Oh, she was such a baby. Yes, this was back when I was doing my blissfully bookish rep period. It was still very awkward for me to rep like style clothing online and post myself this often. Like I still wasn't super comfortable doing it, but it was a fun time. This is when I was thinking about this yesterday. Ellie and I, we did a read along together, got us to the machine, and we also, was this around the time we did like a couple of lives together just talking? Those were so fun. This was me on a cruise. I had gotten this package and I was like, let me just take a picture on the cruise. It was fun. And then, there's more pictures here. Okay, but here, I graduated college. Wow, online. I love my college photos. I still think my college graduation photos are gorgeous. Shout out to my photographer, Shop by Diane. She's based in Dallas now, if anyone's interested. And I remember I was like, I have to bring one book and let it be Pride and Prejudice. And of course, I'm wearing my Pride and Prejudice sweatshirt. Oh. Wow, this is crazy. And like, what I really like is like, you can just see the quality of my photos improve like as I got more comfortable. I think I got a DSLR camera around this point, which I'd been borrowing my brother's before, but I got it as a graduation gift actually from my brother and his wife, my own camera. This is Miss Moy, who I mentioned earlier in the video. I know her since 7th grade and I still talk to her. She's lovely. Wow. Oh, my reads. Wow, it came out 2022. Everything I'm just saying is wow, by the way. This was another paid video. I don't remember. Was this my first paid video? Had I done a paid video before? Interesting. This is when Kiara came and visited me. Oh, that's what I loved when I started, like, meeting my online friends and getting to see them. Like, they'd come to Florida. I'd go up somewhere and we'd get to make these videos together. Wow, amazing. So I don't know how long I'm gonna scroll through this page. This I really want to talk about. So I got a chance to talk to this online magazine Bookster. I worked with this person named Lexi Dockery is her name, in 2022. This was a wonderful article to write. I got to talk about so many things I was genuinely passionate about. It was like a very good article. Like this is still linked to my bio if you want to read it. Fun fact though that I didn't talk about a ton here. So this was around the time Apollo got sick. Super quick rundown because I don't want to get into it a ton because I still cry over this sometimes. My cat Apollo on his 2nd birthday was diagnosed with, is it FIV, I think. Basically he was in late stage kidney failure and there was no hope of him getting better, essentially. Like, that sounds really harsh to say. It was really harsh to hear. Basically, like, he was in late stage kidney failure. The doctor was like, at most, he gets a couple months. We can try a bunch of medication, but really all we're going to do is just maybe extend his time. Like, there's no cure. It's basically how it was. So, that was on March 23rd. We got the diagnosis. Cut to the most traumatizing month of my life, and Apollo passes at the end of April. That's all I'll say on that. So, with this article, I had written it before that happened. And it came out, I think, the day Apollo got diagnosed because my luck. Crazy. And I remember I was like, I emailed Lexi back and I was like, hey, like, this is happening. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to post anything on my page for a couple days. And she was so nice. She was so patient with me and she was so lovely. So you can notice, like, these posts right here, I think this was my last normal post. Back before my life completely changed, this was the last post I posted. And then the next ones were just like, almost like contracted posts. Like someone had sent me something, I was just posting because I had to post. Generally, like, I remember writing these without a single feeling in my heart because I was like going through something really intense. And the last thing on my mind was social media. This was the first post that I was like, let me put a little bit of effort in. Because what happened was, the day I took this photo is Apollo, when he first got sick, was in the hospital for a few days. They were like gonna try some like really intense meds at first to like try to bring his kidney numbers down, whatever, didn't work. Anyway, so yeah, so from here to like here, this is when Apollo passes. I was operating as a shell of myself. Like, genuinely, like, if I go back and look at my captions, I know for a fact there is not a single, like I'm writing from an empty cup, if that makes sense. And, like, they were mostly things I wanted to post, just to, like, books I'd received, things like that. Yeah, then Apollo passes, and then I go to Europe, and I meet Zulfa, author of Lemon Trees, and, yeah. And then I get my new cats. 2022 was a rough year. But I love my kids. Yeah. I'm really proud of this post. I think of this post often. I think about recreating it. This was for Queen of the Tiles release. It's a Scrabble murder mystery, so I spelled out the word cheater. It was fun. Yeah. Not a ton of reactions right now, sorry. I'm, like, lost in thoughts and memories. This photo I was super proud of. I'm actually recreating this photo. Fun fact, you'll see it's already up on Instagram by the time I post this video. For this year, I'm recreating this photo of another of, like, looking at profile of myself. I'm really excited to do it. I wrote a really good caption for this one too. Oh, this is such a good caption. Why did I have to write it so long? I'm gonna cry. Oh my gosh. We're back. Yeah. There's a lot of posts I really loved making. I really always try to, like, convey that a lot of my posts come from love. Oh, here is another. No, these are my reading goals. Did I never do another Meet the Bookstagrammer? That's fun. Like, I want to go look at that. I'm a girl who loves. Oh, this one was fun to make. Yes, I made these on TikTok. Cute. I love it. My boy, Nasir. We did go live with Hafsa for Weekends of Flame. That was also really fun. So we had started Buttercup Book Club at some point, and this I completely missed when I did. We started when I was still in college, so it was before 2021. Did I not do a post to announce it? I probably just announced it on the book club. This is when I turned 23. I kind of wish I had done, like, a nicer design for, like, the chapter 23 part, but I did this, like, last minute, and honestly, like, it still came out cute. And I look cute, so it's fine. Sometimes I laugh at myself. This was such a fun video to make for Spice Fruit. I mean, this video where I, like, pretended I got sucked into the book, and you see, yeah, it's like a glitch. Oh, this was so fun. Because I pulled out, like, all my ethnic stuff that I had in the house. And then at the end, I, like, did this, like, glitch thing too, where it's like I was out of the book, but was I really out of the book? I don't know how much people actually noticed that. I had so much fun making this though. My sister was, like, following me around the house with a camera. So you see me, like, I jump out of the book. I'm like, whoa. And then, can't believe that was real. There's something on my hand. Oh, I think it's the henna tattoo. That I was like, this is, like, the sign that I'm still sucked in or something. Was it like that? I don't remember where my brain was. These were a lot of fun to make. These videos, like, took off overnight. When this trend came out, I, like, put these out really, really fast. And then they did super well. And I was like, yeah, let me do another post. Like, this was fun. It was a good time. This is when I launched YouTube, 2023. Wow, that was a really big step for me. Also a little bit impulsive decision, and we've seen that sometimes my impulsive decisions work out. But I was really happy with it. All right, I want to start reacting to some reels so I can move on to some top 10 moments. What are these? I'm kind of listing my top 10 moments as we go. So let's scroll. My reels are gonna be fun to react to. So we're gonna scroll down. I'm not going to react to all my reels. I'm just going to go through a couple of the first ones. Hold on. We're almost at the top. My first ever reel. What was it? Okay, so this is when I was still doing, like, non-faced reels. It took me a while to get into non-faced reels, so I was doing, like, book hauls. I was having fun learning transitions. This is the level of audio. So showing my favorite series, doing, like, different audio challenges. And then I got into my very first, was it this one, the very first time I showed my face? Yes, I think this was the very first video I showed my face. You don't understand how stressed out I was showing my face for those 2 seconds. I was genuinely so stressed out. You don't understand. How many times I like refilmed and refilmed. I was like, does my face look okay? This was back, like, full disclosure, I used to heavily not edit. I didn't used to edit, sorry. I used to use filters because I was still like weird about how I looked. So this was, is this a tricky? The walking, oh my god, the acting is crazy. That's so funny. This is the matching outfits to book covers. These are some of my first reels that actually like took off, and I was very proud of them, but the filter was crazy. Still very proud of it. The brush transitions are a little bit too long though. This one took off. This one, I remember exactly where I was when it like hit 18,000 views, which was a lot for me. A lot for the beginning. I was on my way to a pho restaurant. I was going to dinner with my family, and I was like, oh my god, like the video is like taking off, and I'm like freaking out, and everyone's like, yeah, like, can we just eat? And I was like, no, I'm freaking out. It was so fun. This is a book haul that got a good amount of views. I remember I went with my friends, and none of them noticed how many videos I had taken. I was just like too slick. These are so cute. I don't have that Yoda anymore. I got rid of it, the one in the back. Shadow and Bone trailer. Oh my god, this is so funny. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I'm not even like making fun of myself. I love it. I did some like tutorial videos. This is my first book aesthetic. I just pulled a bunch of pictures from Pinterest, and honestly, these were so fun to make. I used to make them all the time. I had such a good time with it. Like, convincing people to read these books. Wow. These colors don't match. Whatever, orange and yellow. My first representation video. I think I really liked making this one. That's cute. This is the first time I think I did like one of those like the Tupperware video. This one took off, didn't it? 11K. Kinda. So these took off for some reason. I made this like I like this video took off, and I was like, I have to do this for every other crow now. And I remember I was like trying to turn it out so fast to where it wouldn't lose traction, and to where people wouldn't like stop being interested. It was a little bit stressful, but I was like, okay, like, I'm in creative mode. Let's get these videos out. These are a lot of fun to make. This video, oh, you haven't read the classics? And I'm talking about the warrior cats. The amount of times I talk about the warrior cats on my platform is actually crazy. But it's like a classic for me. It's one of the first series I got into as a kid. And it's so funny how excited everybody gets when I mention them. Wow, amazing. It's my first time using green screen. I was having such a hard time with the green screen. Don't even talk to me. It was such a hassle. This is a video with 3 of my friends. It was Maya, Azanta, and Stars Bright. Looks like it's in Roku Kid. These were so fun to make. We had a group chat at one point. Wow. How fun. Amazing. Wow, Azanta looks so... She's so cool. This one, it's just like a Jesper edit. I also had a lot of fun making. This one, I remember the Darkling stands came for me for this video. Because I was like, this guy commits murder, guys. Like, why are we? Oh, it was so funny. People really came for me. Oh my gosh. Oh, and the I Am Become a Blade chicks. Wow, I used to do so much. This is Hamilton audio. That's so funny. Some of these are really sappy, and some of these are really not sappy. This is also a Darkling slander. Bro, why was I choosing violence? I'm out here slandering one of the most loved characters out of the show, and I'm just choosing violence. Wow, I love this. I was so brave. I was a hater. Amazing. I'm dying. Oh my gosh. Unboxings. This was really funny. We had just gone back, so someone can't recognize me. This was the first time I was recognized in public. We had just gotten back from lockdown, like our first semester back in person at school. And it was like the first week or something. And I ran into like some friends just like in the student union, like casual communal spaces, and I ran into some friends, like friends I knew in real life, and we were saying hi and stuff. They're like, and it was so funny as they brought up the fact, they're like, oh, like I see what you do online now. Someone comes up to me and goes like, hey, are you Basma from Bookish Basma? And I go, yeah. I like freaked out. It was like I still think about it because I was like, this is crazy. Like this has never happened to me. What do you mean you know who I am? And it was so funny that they brought it up at that moment. Very cool. I still think about it. She recognized me because she was in my We and the Flame read along. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna react to all of these, but wow. This is Ellie and I's lives we used to do. Eventually when I started working, I started filming videos in my car. You can see some of these. Okay, wow. I'm gonna stop recording here. That was crazy to go back through and look at all these videos. I know I said like Selson had recommended that I do like a top 10. I don't know if I can narrow it down. Like I think I'm grateful for all these moments, and I've had so many amazing ones, and I've gone over a good amount of them. So I don't know if I can give you a top 10. I consider every moment I've had like a good moment that is memorable. Like I said, I kind of want to wrap this up because I'm pretty sure this video is like over an hour now before I have to edit. Before edits, we'll see how it is after edits. I am so grateful for every moment I've had online. I'm so grateful for these past 4 years. I'm grateful for all the friends I've made. I've met my closest friends online. And thank you to everyone, like I said, who watches my videos, who likes my content, who supports me, who gives me the ability to keep doing what I'm doing. I appreciate you guys more than you know. And I'm always looking to improve my content. I'm constantly a person who's looking to improve. I never think I've reached peak or something where I can't improve anymore. So if there's something you're like, hey, like Basma, I would love to see this type of content or bring this back, something we saw today, let me know down below. Happy 4 years to Bookish Basma. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. And on that note, we'll see you next time. Bye.